Good morning, everyone. Thank you, Ralph. Thank you, Speaker Shikarchi. My name is Nina Harrison, and I want to, in addition to thanking Speaker Shikarchi, thank Alan for painting a picture of what Rhode Island could be like. A place where Rhode Islanders not only can meet their basic needs, but also where we have high-quality systems and people have opportunities to thrive. But this Rhode Island requires revenue and investment to make possible. And Rhode Island is a state with many urgent needs. According to EPI's 2024 Rhode Island Standard of Need Report, 68% of single adults in Rhode Island without children cannot afford to meet their basic needs without assistance. That's 78% of single parents with 2 children cannot meet their basic needs without assistance. And those numbers are worse for women and people of color. And as Alan mentioned, thanks to the federal government, much of that assistance is currently under threat. As you all know, and has been mentioned, we have crisis-level shortages of affordable housing and of primary care doctors. And despite all of these difficult truths, some people, and I'm sure none of us in this room, have questioned whether Rhode Island's state budget is too large. Spoiler alert, it's not. The reality is state budgets should stand ready to meet the needs of the people, and over the past couple of years, the Rhode Island General Assembly has commendably chosen to invest in Rhode Islanders. And you just heard about many of those investments from Speaker Shikarchi. They have invested in Rhode Islanders to make affordable childcare more accessible, to address the affordable housing crisis, and to increase Medicaid reimbursement rates for primary care providers so that we can retain more of them in the state and not have to wait weeks and months for doctor's appointments. These investments are critical and necessary, and the people of Rhode Island cannot afford to walk them back. Alan also mentioned H.R. 1 and some of the ways that it will affect Rhode Islanders. I want to emphasize that H.R. 1 will affect all Rhode Islanders. Even if you think you're exempt because you don't use Medicaid or you don't rely on SNAP, it will affect you. When H.R. 1 causes 34,000 Rhode Islanders to lose health coverage, many of those Rhode Islanders will have to go to hospital emergency rooms to get their medical care. That means that emergency room wait times may increase for all of us. It will affect all of us. That also means that hospitals will be providing more uncompensated care, which means that hospitals may have to reckon with, can they stay in business while providing that much uncompensated care? If hospitals go out of business, that will affect all of us. And even if you're not on SNAP for food assistance, thousands of Rhode Islanders having their SNAP benefits cut will affect the Rhode Island economy. It means thousands of dollars no longer circulating in our economy, in our small businesses, in our corner stores, grocery stores, and bodegas. It means more stress on the Rhode Island Food Bank and direct service organizations and nonprofits that directly serve communities. This will affect all of us. Tragically, some Rhode Island families will experience exponential harm caused by H.R. 1. For example, a family with a child who's a U.S. citizen and a parent who's been granted asylum may find that their asylum grantee parent is no longer eligible for Medicaid, no longer eligible for SNAP. That means that their house may deal with more food insecurity and have worse health outcomes. Those things also affect health and educational outcomes for children, making those outcomes worse. This family may also experience more difficulty getting to school or work because without full funding in our state budget, RIPTA is planning service cuts. So H.R. 1 will affect all Rhode Islanders, but it will not affect us all equally. I mentioned earlier that Rhode Islanders are struggling to meet their basic needs and that those stats are worse for people of color. H.R. 1, without state intervention, will make these gender and racial disparities worse in Rhode Island. And the state, I believe, has a duty to not let that happen. To add insult to injury, all of the devastating cuts in H.R. 1 were made to pay for unprecedented tax breaks for the rich. That is not tax justice. Rhode Island has an opportunity and an obligation to prevent families and systems from falling into states of emergency. We have an opportunity to move towards tax justice and a Rhode Island where everyone has what they need. Raising taxes on the top 1% of income earners, just 5,700 tax filers, could raise $190 million a year for our state to invest in Rhode Islanders, to help avert crisis and secure our future. This is just one example of tax justice and how tax justice can protect Rhode Islanders and help us achieve our ideals. We cannot control, most of us, so we have some our congressional delegation here in the room with us, but most of us cannot control what happens in DC in the federal government. But we can make smart choices here at home, and we can make the choice to invest in Rhode Islanders. Thank you all for being here. I look forward to working together to build a Rhode Island where all of us not only can meet our basic needs, but have the opportunity to thrive.